Have you made it?
Have I made it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I can, keep a roof over my head. I can support my family. I get to do work that I love and I feel fulfilled by.
Yeah.
And I get to play ping pong, so.
And you get to play ping pong in the middle of the day. Yeah, not even at night, but like in the middle of the day, which is great. No, I'm glad to hear you say that because most people say no.
Yeah, I mean, do I have
it doesn't
ambition?
mean are you done?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's 10% of where I want to be, but if this was my life for the rest of my life, I always said this when my first film came out. It was such an amazing experience because that film, A Suitable Girl, it was so personal and I was so proud of it. It took 7 years to make.
Wow.
I was so proud of it. And it was like what I wanted it to be, really reflected everything that I hoped, that would go into that film. Mm-hmm. And I had a day job the whole time I was making that film until very recently. I still had a day job.
Oh, wow. Like how recently?
Weeks ago.
Weeks ago, you still had a full-time, 9 to 5?
Sort of. I had a consulting gig.
Okay.
That was very hard. Immigrant mentality. It's like you need that steady check. Every month.
I understand.
So it's when that film came out, I was like, you know what? Like if this is my life, like if I make one film that I'm really proud of every 7 years, and I just chip away at it and I can support my family. Like by the time I die, I would have made 7, 8, hopefully, God willing, 7, 8 films. Like that's a great legacy to leave behind. And so I'm like, no matter what happens, out there in the universe, that's my touchstone. Is if I can just have a handful of work that really feels like I'm proud of, and that feels like a legacy for me to leave behind that'll outlive me.
Yeah.
Can't ask for more in life.
I feel that way about the I Am Indian video that I made. Yeah. Because it got, I don't know, 100 million views. I don't even know what the number is because it went viral on WhatsApp. Yeah. But I was sitting in
crazy.
I was sitting in Bangalore and dining table, whatever, somebody's house, and we were a couple of us were talking about it. I was like, I don't even know how many people have seen it. And this guy, I don't even know him. He doesn't even look up from his phone. He goes, "Everybody's seen your video, bro." And it was just funny. I was like, "What do you mean everybody?" He goes, "I mean everyone who's got a phone in India has seen your video."
Yeah.
I go,
crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not going to make that claim. I made 50 million for a long time. I was like, I'll just say 100 million now. People are like, it's well over that, but just say it. Yeah. But the idea is that the video inspired a lot of people. Parents who go, I've always wanted my kids in this country, in the United States, to feel Indian. Yeah. And they never were proud of it until they saw your video.
That's amazing.
And I'm like,
what an amazing
thing. You're done. Yeah.
Mic drop.
That's a mic drop. Yeah. And you just feel like, as an artist, that's what you want. Yeah. Because there's so many people who have so much commercial success. Yeah. They get to the end of it, they're like, I don't know if I ever said anything.
Yeah. Exactly.
And now you've done that with A Suitable Girl. It's there.
Yeah, and you have too. Yeah,
I have too.
We've shifted culture.
We've shifted culture. Yeah, that's exactly it. One question we often talk about, because I've organized this this thing called an entertainment meetup where we get a bunch of people together and it's a networking event kind of thing. How much has networking helped you in your career? Have you just kind of kept your head down and let your work speak for itself? Because sometimes I feel like all of these networking events are they're great, but what are we getting out of them? Yeah. How much has networking helped you?
It's pretty much done everything for me.
Okay.
And it sort of starts with my dad.
Okay.
So my dad was a pioneer, Desi guy in the film business.
Yeah.
He started making movies in 1980 and was for a long time one of very few Indian people working out here. And so he really mentored, a lot of people. Yeah. And he loved going to those things. He loved going to the IFLA happy hours and loved having coffee with people, young filmmakers who were trying to figure out how to make it. And a lot of those people are now huge filmmakers or executives. The number of times I go into a pitch or a meeting and somebody sees my last name and they're like, "Oh, are you related to Jag Mundhra?" And I say, "Yeah, I'm his daughter." And they were like, "Oh, we had tea at your house, or we met your dad for coffee at the Starbucks on the corner where we live." And so he really believed in that. Yeah. And he never did it with any specific aim in mind. What am I going to get out of this? It was just
who he was.
It was who he was. He wanted to build community. He wanted to share information and resources and encourage people, and then also tap into people. He learned a lot from younger people too, and. I've been the beneficiary, that's my inheritance,
sure.
Honestly, I've been the beneficiary of all of that, amazing goodwill, that he has, among the, Desi people in the film industry. But also, I try to embody that too. So I think when you go into those networking situations with, like how many like connections am I going to get that's going to lead me to this or that, you're going to feel disappointed all the time.
Yeah.
But if you go into it being like, I'm just going to like be with my community, and if I always go into those situations thinking if I leave with like one meaningful conversation, like one, if I connect with one person and have a great conversation and follow it up, and you know, like who knows where that could lead me. It could be something that pays off in a week, or it could take 10 years.
Sure.
But if I've connected with somebody and feel like I've really made like a friend in the industry, one person out of all of those meetings, it's a huge win for me. So that's, yeah.
I love that. I always think of it that way, that, you know, there's things that are there's a means and an end, you know? And if we go into everything thinking that it's an end, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
If you think of it as a means, you're going to be miserable.
Exactly.
You're like, what is this going to lead to? What is this going to lead to? What is this going to lead to?
Yeah.
If you're always asking that question, you're never living in the moment. You're never living in the present. And you're always trying to use people or use this, or let me use this to parlay that into that. It's like, there's too much of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you could just approach it, do the work,
Yeah.
tell people about the work. I'm not saying you just have to
Yeah.
keep your head down and not do it, or
Yeah.
not tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
But I do feel at the end of the day that, like, if you just go, well, I got to do that. That
Yeah.
was a thing that existed and now
Yeah.
exists in the world.
Yeah.
Then that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me just do the ending. So we really want to thank you for joining us, Smriti Mundhra,
pleasure.
daughter of Jag Mundhra,
Yes.
on
How
what
I
do
like
you
to
bring
be
to the
identified.
table. Yes, that's a lot of what he brought to the table,
Yes.
and part of why you're here. But of course, your own work and your own talent, your own skill as a producer, director, writer, and it's really an honor to have you grace us with your presence, because you're so successful, currently successful, and there's so much more to go. So we really want to thank you for being here today. And if there's anything you want to wrap up with, you want to tell people where to find you, or anything you want to say to the camera or to me, you're welcome to.
No, just thank you for creating the space for all of us to share and talk and learn from each other. And it's great questions, great coffee, great game. I had a blast.
I'm so appreciative. Thank you so much. Well, thanks everyone for joining us on What Do You Bring to the Table? I've been your host, Rajiv, and I still am.